In this video, Little Scrappy talks about being raised by his mother, Mama Dee, and he said prostitutes would have sex in his bedroom, and where he stayed at his mother's house, Mama Dee's house, it was a trap house. And for those of you who don't know what a trap house is, it's a house where prostitutes have sex. Remember, Mama Dee did admit that she was a pimp. Now, can you imagine this young child being raised around all of this? It had to affect him, and to this day, he is going through it from what he saw and experienced when he was a little boy, being raised by his mother. So Scrappy recently sat down with Carlos King, and he revealed some shocking details about how he was raised as a child. Scrappy is 39 years old, and his real name is Darrell Richardson. He said as far back as he can remember as a little kid, he understood and knew what type of work his mother was into. So he said the prostitutes would come into his room as well as his sister's room and turn tricks, and he and his sister had to sleep in his mother's room as a result. He said once the weekend came around and they were home from school for the weekend, his room and his sister's room would be wiped down with bleach, the rooms would be clean, and new sheets and covers would be on the bed. And he knew what time of day it was. It was time for the prostitutes to come in with the johns and turn the tricks. He also said in addition to the prostitution that went on around him, he also saw a lot of drug abuse that took place in his environment growing up. So I'm sure neighbors and other family members knew what was going on in Mama Dee's house. How come nobody called the cops or nobody called CPS to remove those children? It was he and his sister going through this for years. So he said the straws would be around the house that they would use to snort their drugs, or the pipes, the little paraphernalia from the drug use would be around the house, and he and his sister would have to see all this stuff around the house. So Mama Dee did not do anything to protect her children. So when she comes out and she talks about raising children and how Bambi was, and Erica was raising those kids, she did not have a leg to stand on because she didn't do a good job at raising her own two children. He said these prostitutes would cook and clean for him sometimes, and he began to look at them as family. And once everybody was high enough, he would sneak out of the house. So there was no real parental supervision. He was allowed to do whatever he wanted to do. And so it was not a surprise that he got involved in drugs. You know, some kids go the opposite way when they see what's going on and they say, that's not going to be my life. And then other kids gravitate and say, yeah, I want to do exactly that. So he said he was a teenager when he first started selling drugs. He said he was 16 years old when he started selling drugs. And he also said his mother, Mama Dee, used to slip him liquor and tell him to go on and taste it. So he was very young at the time all this started. He said he started to smoke weed at the age of 12. And like I said before, his mama was slipping him liquor early on in his life, and he could have been an alcoholic very easily if he had, I guess, was gravitating towards the liquor. But he said liquor was never his thing. He was never into that. He would smoke weed. And like I said, it started from the age of 12. And we saw a video a while back when Scrappy had confronted Mama Dee, and he was so angry. He still got a lot of pent-up rage concerning his childhood, almost like if it was stolen from him, taken from him by his mother, because he was not allowed to grow up in a normal way, like two parents in a household, a nice picket fence, a house, a dog, and everybody's hunky-dory. His life was completely what you would see on TV in a trap house with people doing drugs and the madam and people smoking and having intercourse all over the place. That was Scrappy's life. And as a little boy, can you imagine growing up and seeing that? How that was going to influence him and shape him into being a man later on. So here's the interview, well, part of it anyway, with Carlos King. I want you guys to hit the like bell as you come onto the page, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so as yet.
Scrappy is in the building. Hey. This is my brother. Hey. We work together on Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, and I'm thrilled to have a conversation with you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
We haven't seen each other in like over 10 years.
I see you. I see you. You be doing your thing. Carlo out there doing his thing. I'll be like, oh, okay, with Carlo. Got his own situation. You feel me?
Well, look, God has been good to the both of us.
Yeah.
He really has been. Yeah. Listen, I'm proud that you are still here.
Me too.
Relevant.
Me too.
Thriving.
Amen.
And what I want to do first is get back to the start of all this because, listen, you and I are cool. And one thing I know about you, you are a God-fearing black man.
All day.
You always preach the gospel.
Yeah, since a kid.
And even when we were working together, doing interviews, you will always talk about your love for God.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
My daddy. You know what I'm saying? My daddy introduced me to God. Well, he introduced me back to God. You know what I'm saying? Because, as a baby, like, your daddy the first man you look up to if you had one. You know what I'm saying? And I looked up to him, and all he did was go to church every day. You know what I'm saying? He had me in there with him, had me in the gym with him, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just seeing him like get on his knees and pray to God and cry to God and like just be humble and vulnerable. And I'm right there and I can't see. I'm like, who could talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like tripping. Cuz be in the closet in his prayer room. You know what I'm saying? Going in, and you would hear him. You'd be like, damn, like is it that serious? Cuz like I mean. Ain't nobody in there with you. It's just you. You know what I'm saying? But then when I was little, but it's like as I got older and I would be in situations, I would come out of it, and he always used to tell me that, the stuff that I was going through, like he was his age and he said I still ain't stuff like that. He was like the way God got you here, you know what I'm saying? You still breathing. You got other kids dying from stuff like that. I started looking at that stuff, like that type stuff. How you wake up every day, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody made like a machine or something. Everything go together and stuff like that. And, it's just like everything go together. Like, I mean, we ain't hit, like, it's hard to believe that it ain't a God. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that I done went through and came out of with nobody else helping me but the people that he sent, you feel me? I'm locked in, tapped in forever.
No, you are, and the thing about it is you constantly give God the glory, which is what we love about you too. So you talk about your father. Obviously, your mother's Mama Dee, who will go down in history as one of the most legendary, iconic reality mothers in history. What I love about your mom is she never shied away from her past. She's very honest about, look, I was a pimp, I had hoes, I used to have them run the block. As a kid and as a black boy, or any boy for that matter, your mom is like your first love. It's the first woman you love. Did you know that your mother was involved in that lifestyle growing up?
Yeah. I was right there. She ain't never lied to me. You know what I'm saying? Never lied to me. I mean, you couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Our house was the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, where we stayed at was the trap house. You know what I'm saying? So, I seen them come, I seen them go, seen hoes. Like I say, hoes had to fuck in my room, you know what I'm saying, and in my sister's room, so we had to sleep with my mama. You know what I'm saying? I was grateful that she didn't make us sleep in there, but like we would go in there and watch TV and stuff, like when ain't nothing, like during the weekend when ain't shit going on, she been and cleaned the whole shit. And she had J's doing that. She had the J's cleaning our room. Once the weekend we come home from school, the rooms have been wiped down with bleach and rooms cleaned, new covers and sheets. I'm like, you gonna do this every week? How you go buy some new covers and shit every week?
Like it's an Airbnb.
Yeah, and we'll be in our room on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Watching, TV or playing with our toys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see little straws and shit around the house. You know what I'm saying?
Like the drug straws?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they used to take real straws that you get from McDonald's and cut them. what I'm saying, do their thing. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't got a pipe, they'll get it some kind of way. They'll do it. I was like, damn. And he was like my play aunties and uncles because I grew up around them. You know what I'm saying? They would be there, you know, a moment on the block or posted up in the trap. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? We're earning somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They be right there with us. You know what I'm saying? Like they the one that cook for us, clean for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there talking to these people every day. They like, hey, look. Mama said you can't go out the house. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be a good little boy now. Like keep putting. Man, after you hit that I'm going out the window and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As a kid, you don't know it's dangerous like that.
Right, because the thing, it's sort of like when you're a kid and there's any, like, you taste anything because you're a kid and you're around it so much. And
very impressionable.
You want to try it.
Yeah.
So you saw the drugs and stuff around it. Yeah. How old were you when you tried your first drug?
Like, took a drug or sold it?
Both.
Well, I was a teenager when I first started selling drugs. And when I first did my first ever drug. Now weed, I did that since I was 12 years old.
12?
Yeah, I was 12 years old smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? When I got 16, my mama, all through my life, my mama would slide me that liquor. You know what I'm saying? Taste it, don't taste it. But I wasn't really on it like that. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely been a weed head since I was 12.
So, guys, we heard about what Scrappy had to say growing up in a trap house. And we got to ask ourselves, well, he had a grandmother. How come the grandmother didn't take him out of the house sooner? Eventually, he went to stay with the grandmother and live with her. But how come all these pimps and prostitutes who were around watching these kids grow up in this trap house did not call CPS and report that their children here? I guess they didn't want to get busted, right? And mess a good thing up. There were neighbors who were watching, their family members watching. They knew what was going on. But yet, Scrappy and his sister had to linger in that trap house for years. And Mama Dee introducing him to alcohol. And then, of course, at the age of 12, he started to smoke weed. So he wanted to make something of himself and was introduced to hip-hop and became a rapper. So, guys, some people have a rough life growing up, and we wonder what makes them the man they are or the woman they are today. Sometimes they are coming from horrible places. So drop your comments and hit the like bell. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. I'll see you all in the next one. Let me know what you think about Scrappy revealing that he was brought up in a trap house. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.